Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk, and it's early morning here in western Nebraska. So that'd be perfect time to talk about my frustrations with the infotainment system because I don't get as angry in the morning. And plus I slept on it last night and I've been thinking about it and I've been going over the features, I've been going over the manual, and so here's what's going on. So remember the video I shot the other day about my likes and dislikes? My pin, or my profile, was not loading in the system correctly, and this is what was going on. So the dealership sent him a nice person and we worked through the process, but you have to go into settings, okay? Then you go into personal info and you have to go down here and link a key. Now I linked my Bluetooth phone as well, but you have to have the key, that thing turned on, and that will allow you every time you get in the vehicle that a key fob will link to that, and then you can you can hop in and load your profile automatically. That works. I'm still frustrated about it, but it works. And why would I still be frustrated about it? Well, a couple things. First of all, anybody that drives my truck that wants to have a profile, and this profile information, let me go through it. You have Bluetooth devices, you have general keyboard, date, time, how you want that going, notifications, display, what display do you want. You can go through and set your seat settings, which you already have in the seat setting button over here on the door, but you can do that as well. Customize the vehicle, lights, how do you want those set, all that kind of stuff. So you can set that as a profile per person, which is fine, but again, everybody that drives my truck that wants to have that setting has to download the app, then they got to create a account with a password, get a PIN, they have to use the PIN to unlock that feature on the phone to do the QR code that matches the truck to get it all synced together. Now yeah, you do that one time, but my issue is a couple things. Why is it so difficult to get all that stuff set up? Why do I need a PIN? This is not Fort Knox. I don't have my bank information in there. Also, the hackers know my headlights auto on sensitivity. You know, I don't really care about that at all. I think it should be a lot simpler. Okay, one more quick update on this video. I literally finished editing a video, ran outside to shoot my thumbnail. This is the image you guys see on the screen. And if you guys looked at the thumbnail, I'll put it on the screen, guest profile is active because my profile didn't automatically load. Even though I had the key fob in my pocket and the phone in my pocket, it didn't automatically load. So it's still hit or miss on the system. And so there I am, I have to hit cancel, it goes navigation, I go back to the radio to change the radio station. And then I'm trying to turn the volume up while I'm dealing with the screen. It just doesn't work as smoothly as it should. That is the bottom line. My other issue with it is, I don't know why it's got to be linked to a key fob. Like, I guess I get it maybe for security reasons, but when I hop in the truck, CarPlay pulls up, you know it's my phone. You know that I'm in the vehicle with the phone. So, and even if I was riding shotgun and I had a key in my pocket, how do you know it's me and not my driver in front of me that's in the driver's seat? Like, it's just too confusing. I'd love to have it just on the key. You know, I've said this, other brands are doing this. Don't give me this stuff that it's other vehicles doing it. I drive 100 vehicles a year. I know what vehicles are doing. The certain companies are using your cell phone as a digital key. So you don't even need the key fob. So if everything is going to a digital future, what they're telling me when I go to these shows and do this stuff, everybody's going to a digital future, then why do we still need a key fob, right? And then, you know, we should just get rid of that. Just go straight with the phone and make it simpler though. I don't need a PIN. I don't need all the stuff. Make it an app that Toyota recognizes the CarPlay, and then I can go through, set my settings on the Toyota app. I hop in, boom, everything syncs, I'm good, right? So that's one of my big beefs is I don't want to create another account. I don't want you to email more junk mail. I don't want to get notifications on my phone that all this stuff's in the truck. I just want a simple operation. I want it simple. I'm still seeing guys who are buying these trucks with flip phones. And we make it this complex, just do the radio. The thing is, if you don't get your profile logged in, you will consistently see the guest profile button on there. Big screen, takes up most of the screen. You can't see the radio, you can't see stuff. You have to cancel or retry to get your PIN or your profile loaded. The same thing happens with your cell phone. If your Wi-Fi is not connected right, or your Bluetooth doesn't or connected right, you have to hit cancel, retry, cancel, retry. It's like, let's just make it simple. That's my biggest thing. I had some notes here. I want to make sure I do some notes. There's also a conversation about in the comments about how the dealer should set it all up, right? So dealer should have, when I bought the truck, the dealer should have came out and set all this stuff up for me. That's a load of malarkey, right? So in my situation, I was ready to leave. But also, if you have not bought a truck in the last 10 years, go buy a new truck. Buying a vehicle is horrendous. I don't care if I call over the phone and get everything set up, which I did in this case. The dealer, Fred Haas, made it the easiest I could be. He made it the easiest I could be. I was still like an hour in a dealership, which is actually a really good time. I don't want to sit around a dealership. I don't want to wait for somebody else to come out and do the apps. I don't want to do that stuff. I want a simple truck. I don't want to have to deal with downloading the app and logging in and checking email and doing this and getting the settings and have a guy sit here and tell me I got to press this button with the key fob and I got to link it all together. And that's another thing. When you set up their profile, why doesn't it automatically go and ask you, do you want to link this to a key fob? Why doesn't that screen pop up? If you go online, you'll see a lot of people are talking about having to enter a PIN each time. Why during the setup process doesn't it just come up and say, bing, do you want to link this to a key fob? Well, yeah, I do, because you have to. Fantastic, no problem, problem solved. My other issue with that driver profile settings and things like that is because that guest screen is so big, because you can't get around it. That screen needs to be minimized and maybe default just say, okay, no big deal, right? Because it's so big, that means anybody I loan my truck to has to clear that screen, right? So let's say I loaned it to my neighbor and he needed to get some rock. He comes over and gets my truck, starts it up, guest profile screen comes up, drives to Home Depot or his house, whatever, he's got a trailer, turns truck off, gets trailer. That second time it turns on. Goes to the rock yard, he gets rock. He sits there outside, turns his truck off, waits for the guy to come load up rock. That's 3 times when he gets back in the truck, so he got to turn profile off. He drives over to the scale, gets weighed, parks the truck, goes inside and pays. 4 times. He gets in his truck, drive back to his house, that's 5 times. 5 times he's got to clear the guest profile screen for what turns out to be a 1.5 mile drive. Right? So I don't have a problem with that screen popping up. I have a problem with the fact it should just not even exist. If it just goes to guest profile, that's fine. I don't need to have a driver profile for every single person in the truck. Some people just want to drive the truck. I just want to drive the truck. I want to turn on the radio. I don't need to load my profile every single time. You know, yeah, automatically is great, but I'm thinking about people I'm loaning it to, and then, like I said, anybody I decide that I want to have drive my truck has got to go through the whole process getting something set up if they want to use the customization settings. And, oh, Jesus criminy. It's like, it's so difficult. So that's my big frustration with driver profiles, is it's too complex, there's too many things going on, and it takes too long to get done. And yes, you tell me I'm not tech savvy. Fine, I'm putting together a YouTube channel, I'm doing videos, I'm editing videos, you guys have no idea. I get this tech stuff. That is not easy. That's my complaint. It's got to be easy. The second thing that I had a big issue with, and I did a video on this, and I want to expand a little bit on this video, is remote start. So this frustrates me for a couple reasons. As you saw in the other video I did in this, it's a subscription service, and here's what happens. There's a couple pieces to this. First of all, you can use remote start on your phone. You can use the key fob secret sequence. Lock, lock, hold lock, right? And the truck will turn on. Those things work fine, but as a Toyota safety measure, no matter what you do, when you get to the door and you open the door, the truck turns off. So you could be loading stuff in your truck while your truck's warming up. You can't. You have to go, turn your truck on, then go back outside and load stuff. So no matter what you do, the truck turns off. Other brands don't do that. Don't tell me they do. At a Ford last year, it didn't do that. Other brands don't do that. This is a Toyota only situation. The second issue I have with this is that it is now subscription based, which means you can spend $8 a month for the suite of connected services or $80 a year. I have 2 issues with that. Number one, I'm going to use remote start for 3-4 months out of the year. Why would I want to pay $80 for a year when I'm not going to use a service for the entire year? Or I'm going to spend $8 a month and cancel and activate, which is not going to happen, right? So I'm not going to be able to cancel it and reactivate, because what a pain in the butt that's going to be, right? So I'm going to pay for this feature I'm not going to use during the summer. I don't remote start my truck in the summer. Now, down south, it may be the inverse. You don't remote start truck in the winter, but maybe you do in the summer to turn on the AC. Real quick addendum on to that, there's some confusion on the remote start with the key fob. Some of the Toyota trainers are telling me it's active for 10 years. The quote I got from Toyota says 3 years. And so, look at that. more confusion because it's a ridiculous thing to talk about. It should just be a button. It should be active all the time. That's one thing. The second thing that I have an issue with is I was on Toyota's build and price tool, which is still broken, by the way. It's confusing as heck. And there is no way I could build a 2022 Toyota Tundra with remote start as a standalone option. So basically what Toyota is saying is, we are going to no longer offer remote start in any of your vehicles unless you pay us more money. So I just spent $60,000 in a new truck. I got $7,000 probably in taxes. I think they overestimated that a little bit. I got $1,000 a month payment. I got you know, all this stuff I'm doing with this truck. Gas, fuel, all kinds of things. And then they want $8 more a month for a feature I can't actually buy a standalone feature. I can't. I'd much rather buy it standalone than pay a subscription. So all that forces me to do is go aftermarket, right? Because that's a load of bull. It's absolutely a load of bull, and you're forcing me to spend more money on a $60,000 truck for a feature that it should have had anyways. And you've made it so complex with the infotainment system, all the settings going on there, and all the situation with there's no button for remote start on the key fob, which is frustrating too. So if you don't know the trick, you don't know the trick. So your truck may have remote start, you may not even know it because you don't know the trick. So it's just frustrating. And then the biggest news from this was, I was watching Roman at TFL who said, this is no big deal, guys, just get used to it, we're paying subscriptions anyways, which I really had a problem with. But also that they're going to take away the key fob functionality when the trial expires. So not only do you not have remote start in the app, but you don't have remote start on the key fob either. So they're both gone. So there's no, like I said, there's no Toyota Tundra I can buy that has remote start as a standalone option. I have to go aftermarket. Think about that. You're forcing me to go to the aftermarket. Yeah, because I'm not going to pay a subscription service for all the other features I don't want. I don't care for SOS. I don't use that feature. I don't need navigation assistance. I have a cell phone. I don't, you know, Wi-Fi. Yes, I got to pay for Wi-Fi if I want that separately. But I don't want to pay $8 a month for remote start because it's the only service I'm going to use from the app. And I don't really care about the app tracking my vehicle maintenance, stuff like that. I have a dealer that does that. I can use an Excel spreadsheet. I don't need those features. And so it just frustrates me that taking away options, and this is the end thing, taking away the options, forcing me into the corner, and making it very difficult to use just the radio piece. If I hop in my truck, just want to turn on the radio, and my profile doesn't load, I have to hit cancel. If my profile does load, it's going to go. It goes to the settings, and everything loads up, and I can tell it's like, do you want to move your seat around? No, I just want to get in the truck and turn on the radio. Why is that so hard? And then with the settings and the screen and the size, I bet you I can't replace this with aftermarket radio. I bet you I'm stuck with this. So I just think that there's some teething issues, and I have a lot of frustrations with the way the driver profile settings set up. And this is not how other brands do it. So there you go. So I hope you found this informative. Check the video out over here, website down below. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road.